What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Drew Hoover, and today we'll be talking about the West Coast offense. I'll be going through a little bit introduction and editorial of some of the offenses we see every day in the NFL. For you viewers that may not know all that I know and maybe not even keep track with what I'm talking about in my segments. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click that subscribe button. Also, if you have any graphic design needs, Anthony Garcia is your man. His link is in the description below, www.anthonygarciadesign.com. So let's get right into this. And to talk about the West Coast offense, we have to go back to 1969 with the Cincinnati Bengals under founder and head coach Paul Brown. And one of his offensive assistants was Bill Walsh, who would end up becoming coach of the 49ers, but we'll get to that in a second. In 1969, they drafted a quarterback named Greg Cook, and a lot of people had high hopes for him. The footage that we do have of Greg Cook really showed he had that strong arm, making throws that we really see in today's NFL. Sam Wyche, who was his former teammate, said that if he had a long career, he may have been one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Unfortunately, 3 games into the season, he got injured and his career was over. They didn't have the technology or the medicine that we had today, so his career was over from there. So now Bill Walsh and Paul Brown had to build an offense around their backup quarterback, Virgil Carter, who didn't share Greg Cook's strong arm. So this is where the nickel and dime offense comes in, because they had to rely a lot on the short pass. Not saying that they couldn't attack the ball deep down the field, but they really had the short pass to fall back on. And this really proved effective, and because of that, Bill Walsh brought that to San Francisco and build on that. And when you ask some of his former players, Steve Young, who was a quarterback for him for a short time, he said that pretty much the short passing game replicated the efficiency and the security of a running game. And so when you look at his playbook, you can actually find it online. His playbook from 1982 that I have on my laptop is almost 350 pages long. Very meticulous, going through the huddle, pre-snap, the formations, red for split, which we'll talk about that. We'll break some of these plays eventually. The red being the split, green being the T formation, or as we call today, the I formation. Then he had colors for the strong and weak side, which pretty much indicate where the tight end is. Strong side being the tight end side, the opposite side being the weak side. Strong was blue, weak was brown. And he even planned out everything for the quarterbacks, for the entire offense. Offensive line had to be 2 yards apart. Quarterbacks, for specific plays, he would tell them if you needed to take a 3, 5, or 7 step drop. For wide receivers, he would tell them exactly how many yards to run down the field before making his cut to the top of his route. And so that, before I could go on, but like I said, it's just a big playbook right here. Let me just go over a few plays so you can understand what I'm talking about. As you can see here, we have what's called the flex underplay, and it's in the split formation, considering the halfback or running back right here and fullback that are in the split formation 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. So let's start from left to right, because usually when it comes to a quarterback's progression, he's going to go from left to right or right to left depending on his primary target. So let's just say this X right here is John Taylor. He was the wide receiver, obviously complimentary to Jerry Rice. He made the play, the winning catch in Super Bowl 23 against the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's just say he goes off this line right here. And as you can see by the way I drew this route right here, he's going to try to get the corner to go inside, because with this route right here, which is a hitch or a comeback route right here, he's going to have to get the outside to get the advantage and the space that he needs to get that catch. So he's going to go up here, and then at the top of his route, he's going to jab right here, swing his hips around, and then be open for that. This is where you see a lot of those sideline catches, those 2-tap plays right here. And then with this halfback is going to be Roger Craig. Roger Craig was the first running back in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards and receive for 1,000 yards. And like I said, a lot has to do with this West Coast offense that he has right here. This is going to be a closed pattern right here. He's going to watch this Will linebacker, and then once he engages the quarterback, the halfback is just going to let it go right here. And now we have the fullback, and this is going to be Tom Ratham. It's very interesting to talk about the fullback when really it's become obsolete in this day and age, but really it was one of the big components, particularly in the West Coast offense. And so Tom Ratham, or the fullback here, is going to sneak right through there. In fact, Bill Walsh says that he needs to go, that he must avoid contact, because really what's unique about the nickel and dime offense is because everyone's so worried about these top threats right here, like the wide receivers and the tight end right here, that a lot of times that these guys will go in there undetected, which is what Bill Walsh wants. So this, like I said, this backer is going to go get after the quarterback, and when this tight end goes into his route, he's going to slip right in there, and he's not going to take a step right here or a cut. He's really just going to take it all the way towards the sideline, almost like a corner route. The corner route means that he's going to take it towards the sideline. And so then you have your Y, the tight end right here. And this is going to be either a Brett Jones or Dwight Clark. If you know Dwight Clark, he was the one that made the catch in the 1981 NFC Championship game to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So they're just going to run a simple drag route, 2.5 to 5 yards. Doesn't have to be very deep. And then we have wide receiver Z off the line of scrimmage. We'll call this Jerry Rice. And he's going to run a post, which means he's going to be going up 8 yards, as you can see right here. Take his cut, and then head towards the middle of the field, which is where the goal post is. A prime example of this is when Jerry Rice caught a big pass down the field in Super Bowl 24 against the Denver Broncos when they pretty much blew them out, one of the worst blowouts in NFL history. Again, the way I wrote this route right here, again, he's going to be at the corner's left side, but instead he's trying to get him to go outside because he wants this inside route right here so that when he takes his cut right here, that he's got all this room by himself. So again, he's going to run the 8 yards up here, take his cut, take that jab, swing his hips, and hopefully when he makes that cut, he's going to cause this separation from the corner and be all by himself at the top of his route. And so the reason I wrote this defense up right here is because when Bill Walsh wrote up these plays, he would write up in every single formation. In this case, the 3-4 defense, you got your 4 backers right here, and then you'll have 3 defensive linemen right here. He would write it up in every formation, whether it was the 3-4, 4-3, even the Bears 46 defense, just so they know how to approach the play in every scenario right here. And the reason I start with this is because I feel like you can address all these. If you're a defense and you want to attack this play right here, this is how you do it, because you got the safety in the slot right here on the nickel. He's going to take care of this drag route by the tight end, and then the middle linebacker, when this fullback goes past the line of scrimmage and starts to go upfield, this linebacker could see that and then take care of that. And then you have, when you have this wide receiver go on the top of his route, like I said, if he causes that separation, then it's up to that free safety to go get the top of that route. But let's just say, for example, that like most defenses, that you're going to have instead the strong safety and the free safety about 10-15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Now this changes and perhaps gives the quarterback advantage. So again, he's going to do a 7-step drop right here. And as the play goes on, you see the fullback going up here, the tight end doing his drag. And then you look at this middle linebacker. If he sees this coming out, probably the fullback hasn't even reached the line of scrimmage yet. But little does he know that Bill Walsh is making him choose his poison right here, either to cover the fullback or just let this guy or take care of this tight end on the drag right here. Like I said, because he probably doesn't notice the fullback going in there yet, he's gonna try to use his closing speed to catch up to his tight end's route. And so we have the fullback going up in here. The plug linebacker can do it, but like I said, because of the way the offense is done, probably by the time he notices him coming upfield, it's going to be playing catch up, and I don't think he can get there in time. So that means it all goes down to this strong safety. And again, having to choose, just like the middle linebacker did, now this safety has to make a choice. He sees the fullback coming underneath, like I said, trying to take it towards the sideline, but he also sees that wide receiver at the top of his post route. What does he do? Does he take care of this fullback coming up right here? Or does he try to stop the big play from the wide receiver? Either way, he's going to end up allowing a big play right here. Obviously, if I'm a strong safety, I'll try to try to cover the biggest play, which is the top of this post route. And like I said, unfortunately, with this plug linebacker not be able to catch up, most likely the quarterback will go through his progressions right here and end up dumping off to his fullback, probably getting a first down for you right there. So that's just a taste of what the West Coast offense does. Let me show you one more play. All right, so we're still in this split formation, but this time we're going to do the red slot. Now this quarterback, instead of doing the 7-step drop, he's going to do only a 5-step drop right here. And then again, going through left to right, both the wide receivers are actually going to run an out route, which means both wide receivers got to get their corners to go inside, so they got plenty of room on the outside to make those out routes. Both will have 8-yard routes and then until they make their cut right here. And then you have the tight end. He's going to do a cross pattern right here. He's going to travel 12 yards up the field, make his jab, and then turn his hips up field, and then go towards the middle of the field. And then you have your halfback and your fullback right here. They're both going to run M patterns right here. And pretty much when the pressure comes in from these linebackers right here, they're just going to go up here and hang in there for a little bit. Because the reason that I chose this play specifically is, like I said, this is a nickel and dime offense. And like we said, a lot of times when those big plays don't happen down the field, the quarterback, because of a play like this, can drop it off. When you look at these out routes right here, a lot of times this is probably the easiest pass for a cornerback to defend, because even if he does make his cut right here, he can use his sideline arm to get that pass broken up. And you talk about the tight end up here, he's going to be covered by that free safety off the top and one of these linebackers in the middle. So really, when the quarterback looks around right here, depending on how his progression goes, he's going to probably end up dumping off to one of these running backs right here. Now, with this safety right here, again, I had him up top in my last play right here, but if he's down here, that means either he'll cover the inside of this out route right here, or he will take care of this fullback. So let's say, for argument's sake, that the safety sees the fullback coming, he takes care of that, which means the quarterback, probably in his progression, is probably going to end up dumping it off to his halfback right here. Like I said, most likely undetected, and probably get close enough to a first down right here. So those were just some of the few plays that the West Coast offense has brought. I can go through the entire playbook. Like I said, it's hundreds of pages, but those are just the simple plays that, like I said, has, you know, changed the game forever. So when you talk about the offenses today, there are a few offenses that implement that, you know, and there's even some teams that maybe sprinkle the West Coast in there. Because honestly, at this point, there's a lot of mixed philosophies that have been meshed together. When you talk about teams that run the West Coast offense, I think of the Denver Broncos under Pat Shurmur, that runs a West Coast offense with a running game that runs heavily right there. You're talking about Jason Garrett when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, did a lot of West Coast offense, particularly pass-first offense. with zone blocking. Then he brought that same offensive philosophy to the New York Giants. And then when Mike McCarthy took over for that job, he also brought in the West Coast offense. And like I said, offenses that, have mixed West Coast offense with their other philosophies. Zach Taylor, with the head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, he actually implements a little bit of West Coast and spread offense. Now, we'll get to other offenses eventually, including the Eric Coryell offense, because it's actually the middle between the West Coast and the spread offense, because a lot of people say it's, the West Coast offense, but more vertical, hence another name for the vertical offense. And also because it's so vertical, some people have said that it's like the spread offense on steroids. So we'll talk about that eventually, but this has been the segment for the West Coast offense. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, go ahead. And again, if there's anything I'm not talking about that you want me to talk about, please message me. Or if you're on my Facebook or Instagram, message me there as well. And have a good day, everybody.